Here's a fun fact. In Texas, you can win tens of thousands of votes without ever showing up. Hell, one guy literally didn't campaign, didn't show up to events, didn't return calls, and he still polled more votes than a two-time candidate who actually did show up. And if that doesn't piss you off, congratulations. You're precisely the kind of voter the establishment parties are banking on. The old parties love to tell you the same bedtime story. Your vote matters. Your voice matters. We are here for you. Yeah, sure. And his orangeness is a paragon of humility and restraint. Try pulling the other one. It plays hail to the chief. The sacred cow here is that your vote is an act of agency. But every election cycle, they march out the same brands like they're selling detergent. Try the red brand, now with 20% more outrage. Try the blue brand, now with 30% less accountability. And they expect you, the consumer, to just pick one. Not because you trust them, not because they earned it, but because you've been conditioned to believe those are your only two flavors of freedom. A nice, simple, binary choice, like coffee. You want leaded or unleaded, and yet both taste like depression. Please allow me a moment to relate the backstory here, because you deserve to know the truth. In 2022, there were two names on the ballot, me and the Republican who is now the incumbent. I pulled 34% of the vote. That means 1 in 3 voters either voted for me or against him. Obviously, that number scared the hell out of the local Democratic Party. So what did they do? They panicked and slapped a random Democrat on the ballot like a bumper sticker on a rental car. And then their candidate backed out. No campaign, no appearances, no interviews, not even a pulse. And he still got 39% of the vote. As an analyst, those results tell me that the system is not based on representation. It's based on conditioning. The system isn't built to empower you, it's built to manage you. Both parties exploit the same tricks: tribal brand, fear marketing, ballot psychology, and yes, even though Texas has ended straight ticket voting, they still depend on the conditioning. Because they know you're busy, exhausted, trying to keep the lights on in a state where the lights literally don't stay on. And the parties rely on that exhaustion to keep you predictable. Your overworked brain, your 2 jobs and 3 kids, your just give me the easy button mentality. And boy, do they weaponize it. This isn't democracy. This is Pavlov's dogs with yard signs. Now let me be clear about something. I am not the only candidate who has shown up twice. The Republican incumbent has also shown up twice. But he shows up because the machine carries him there. He's got party apparatus, donor networks, consultants, lobbyists, and partisan gravity doing half of the work. He shows up because the system is built to keep him in that seat. I show up because I don't have any of that. No machine, no party payroll, no automatic voter base. If I don't earn a vote, I don't get it. And I'm the only candidate who's shown up twice under my own power. So let's talk about that ghost candidate for a brief moment. The Democratic candidate who never campaigned, never spoke, never showed, and probably didn't even remember that he was running. And he still got a huge chunk of the vote. That's not a campaign, that's a brand stamp. That's not civic engagement, that's a reflex. It's also not democracy, it's autopilot voting on a rigged cockpit. Meanwhile, local Republicans are running victory laps like their platform hasn't devolved into an authoritarian wish list written on the back of Herr Führer's fast food napkin. They've gone full mask-off authoritarian like it's prom night and they've got daddy's truck. Herr Führer tells them to jump and they ask if the landing zone is pre-cleared. And the Democrats are acting like they're the guardians of liberty while pushing policies that treat adults like emotional support hamsters in need of state-approved safety bubbles. They sell liberty the same way fast food joints sell freshness. A slick slogan taped to a frozen bag of top-down control. They'll tell you they're the saviors of democracy and then immediately hand more power to federal agencies than a Vegas pit boss has over your mortgage. And here's the kicker. They don't even need to campaign to beat me. They just need to exist on the ballot. Straight ticket voting is gone in Texas, thank God. But the straight ticket mindset, still very much alive, still thriving, still milking you dry like a lobbyist with a PAC. Different flavors, same manipulation. You deserve better than reflex government. You deserve better than autopilot ballots. Both parties talk about liberty, but only libertarians actually mean it. So when I say I'm running again, it's not because I love politics. If anything, being in Texas politics feels like volunteering to organize a junk drawer at a Waffle House during a hurricane. I'm running because neither party is even pretending to work for you anymore. I'm running because I'm done pretending that the authoritarian creep only has one color. Republicans are going mask-off fascist, and Democrats are going soft-focused paternalist. And the voters are trapped between a red boot and a smothering blue hug. Let's talk about what this election should be about and why every Texan should be pissed off. Austin budgets like a teenager with a parent's credit card, and both parties treat your paycheck like a community tip jar. I want to cut waste, expose crony deals, and end the tax now, apologize never approach that both parties use like a hobby. Remember when the grid failed and the legislature treated it like a surprise tornado from God? That wasn't nature, that was government negligence. Republicans sold deregulation as freedom, Democrats sold central planning as equity, and meanwhile, we get winter blackouts, summer brownouts, a $17,000 energy bills, while Austin politicians blame each other like middle schoolers caught vaping behind the gym. I want real reform, open markets, transparency, and local control, not donor-padded utilities writing the laws. Healthcare in Texas is a cartel with lobbyists. Crony capitalism on aisle 5, now with extra lobbyist marinated. Except we don't have a market. We have a maze. Both parties profit from the complexity. Insurers, hospitals, pharma, the whole alphabet soup. I want portability, competition, price transparency, and the freedom to choose what works for you without 20 layers of bureaucratic permission slips. Small businesses create the jobs politicians brag about, but get strangled by red tape while mega corporations feast at the government buffet. Workers earn the taxes that politicians waste. Entrepreneurs are the people actually moving the economy, not the party donors who collect handouts disguised as incentives. My focus is simple: more freedom to work, to start businesses, to hire, to innovate, to keep what you earn, and less government in your way. And yet they say we're the spoilers. Spoiling what? The two-party casserole that's been overcooked since 1860? Republicans use liberty as a prop. Democrats use it as a window dressing. Libertarians talk about liberty because we actually mean it. And me, I'm just another pissed off Marine with a spine, a brain, and a scorching allergy to bullshit. Real liberty isn't found in culture war tantrums, centralized power, corporate socialism, bureaucratic chokeholds, or leaders who only show up when there's a camera. Real liberty is in transparent budgeting, cutting waste instead of cutting rights, energy policy that doesn't turn winter into a survival documentary, healthcare that isn't a hostage negotiation, small businesses not being crushed by regulatory cosplay, people being left the hell alone to build their own future, and communities choosing their own path instead of Austin dictating it from a golden dome. You want unity? It won't come from the red or blue teams. It comes from a coalition of the fed up, the people who are done with the binary stupidity and want their government to act like a servant, not a landlord. Remember that political ghost candidate who never show up? That rumor with a filing fee? That's not democracy. That's muscle memory. That's mass conditioning. That's the political version of clicking accept all cookies without reading a single line. So yeah, I'm running. Not because it's easy, not because it's profitable, but because I refuse to let the people in my community be treated like afterthoughts in a political puppet show. I'm running because we can't fix authoritarian creep by choosing which color of boots steps on our throat. We fix the system by building a coalition of the fed up, libertarians, independents, principled conservatives, disillusioned Democrats, and anyone brave enough to say, I'm done voting for the least worst option. And that's the point. This isn't about left or right. It's about breaking the conditioning because you're busy, exhausted, and trying to keep your family afloat, and both parties exploit that. So yeah, I'm running, not because I think government is the answer, but because I think that the people currently running it sure the hell aren't. If you want the same scripted political theater that we've had for the past 40 years, vote for the parties. If you want to break the script, vote for those of us who refuse to play by it. You've tried red-only representation. You've tried the blue name on the ballot representation. How about trying something and someone who actually shows up under their own power? How about someone who doesn't treat your vote like a foregone conclusion? How about someone who isn't here to be a spoiler, but to give you something worth voting for? The real question isn't, why am I running? It's, why do you continue to prop up a system that makes you settle for anything less? Sound off in the comments. If you had the power to break this rigged system, would you actually use it? And share this if you're done being manipulated.